Happy New Year, guys. I'm the Tech Prepper. Hope you're all doing well. So we're going to make some changes for 2024. Yeah, the beard is coming back. I shave it every single year. I did play with the beard a little bit before I actually took it all the way down. So there's going to be some major changes on how I approach communications this year. For those of you guys who don't know, I have been trying to work on my communication preps now for about 4 years. I documented that entire journey on YouTube. Now that I'm in a place where I understand kind of the capabilities of what I want to do, my personal communication goals, which is the ability to have local, secure communication and mid to long range communication, I have decided to shift the focus of this channel geared specifically around using communication as a tool. And I'm going to stop doing things like chasing the next radio. So this year, you're not going to see any new radios on this channel. I'm going to use what I have because they are tools that work perfectly fine. So this is not going to be a long video, but I want to share with you my top 3 radios that I'll be using for this year and briefly why. So if I could only have one radio, it would absolutely be the Yaesu VX6R, and this is based on my personal needs. This is an ultra rugged radio. I have over 2,000 trail miles with it. It is a tri-band radio that transmits on 2 meters, 220 megahertz, and 440 megahertz. And with the MarsCap mod, I also have the ability to transmit in other frequencies or bands like 6 meters. And it is a great prepper radio, mostly because this thing will not die. The accessories are relatively inexpensive. It has a aftermarket scene. Mostly I enjoy using the dry cell battery pack so it can run alkaline batteries here. And it's just great for shortwave listening. So the ability for me to listen to AM, FM broadcast and shortwave across the world is absolutely a game changer. So number 1, this is my interoperability radio. I did a video some time back where I showed you guys how I program it, and I used this radio as the reference, and I drew a lot of the info from the NIFOG manual. So number 2, if I can only have a second radio, it's going to be my Yaesu FT818ND man pack. The reason why I love this radio is that it is an all band, all mode radio. So it does VHF, UHF, HF. It's only 6 watts, but right now where we are in the solar cycle, it absolutely allows me to achieve all of my communication goals. And this year, I'm really not going to be working single sideband voice. I've found for me over the last year or so that the most effective form of off-grid communication is using a digital data mode called JS8 and specifically an application called JS8 Call. I have absolute success every single day making targeted contacts with my network across the Southwest. So that is the region, the state, the county, all the way down to the city, just with this little small footprint radio. Now it is discontinued, but you can find these on the secondary market, and I put mine in a man pack configuration. I'll put some links to where I talked about the man pack build and a few other things, but it's really hard to beat something in this size that you can take with you, because in a scenario where you may not have a whole lot of ability to bring a lot of gear with you, I prefer smaller devices. Yeah, it's only 6 watts, but I have made it work, especially with paired with things like JS8 Call. Now, the last radio in my series, or in my fleet for this year in focus, radio number 3, is the Anytone 878. I will be the first to admit that I don't like the build quality, and I don't like the lack of attention to quality control in terms of the firmware that's on here. But this radio packs a lot of value. This radio is still in active production. It's relatively inexpensive. It is a DMR radio, but also offers analog on 2 meters and 440. The software is readily available to program this. There's a good community around it. It has the ability to do AES 256-bit encryption. I personally run that with my business license. We're not going to get into the FCC regulations. This thing, for me, is fully unlocked, so I have full interoperability with FRS, GMRS, MURS, amateur radio frequencies, and the commercial frequencies on those 2 bands. So guys, that's a really quick video today. No fancy edits or anything. Just want to share with you the direction I'm going in, and I'm really just going to be using these as tools to basically tackle my communication goals for this year. All right, guys, I'm the Tech Prepper. Be strong, be safe, be prepared, and enjoy the new year. And if you're on Buy Me a Coffee, the membership, we're making some changes there too. We're going to be doing the MCOM Tools software project in the open, hitting the reset button. So those guys are going to get special videos on how I actually configure stuff like my Panasonic FZ M1, G1, CF20 for true off-grid air-gapped computing. So if you guys want to follow that journey, that's on the Buy Me a Coffee side, and I encourage everybody to go with the $5 membership, mostly because I think that's about all the value that I can provide because of my deep focuses here. So cheers all.